Greetings! I will now be giving a tour of Harpy and also how to start it up if you're gonna make it in survival. It is possible, I have done it, don't worry. Well, only once and it took a while, but you get the point. Also, I think some people who have already noticed this looks a lot like the Nomad from the creator. And yes, it is basically a near one-to-one of how it looks, just with a few changes here and there, and mainly on the interior. So, first of all, how to get on this thing. We have an elevator, a rope elevator here. You just get inside, close this door, well, press this button and we are taking off into the skies. Now this is gonna take a while to get up there, but as we go up there, I want to say that you can adjust how much rope the elevator is gonna release when it goes down. So different altitudes of cruising or the target below you, you can change that so you don't have too much rope or too little when the elevator is used. You can alter this over here. This you don't touch really. This is the thing. You can increase this number, decrease it, and it's gonna, the more blocks, the more rope is gonna throw out. And that would be the elevator. It can be a bit wonky at times, but it works most of the time. Okay, so past this safety hazard over here with the chains, we get into the inside of the left wing of our ship. We have the bathroom here. This is just for decoration really. Importantly here we have an entrance to the wing. We have one on each side. And this is where the propulsion and the steam engines are. So I will explain this in proper detail later. You have the propellers, you have the another propeller to keep it up, steam engines, lava generators, so on. Let's get back up here. Over here are two sleeping rooms, which as you can see, just nice little cozy rooms to stay on. A nice view to the horizon. And over here is the bridge, which is the pretty important thing. It's where you control the ship. Now these two levers, they control the balloons, so we are gonna gain some altitude right now. We're gonna push this lever. You're gonna see this change any moment. That's gonna indicate that the balloon is generating more lift now. There we go. And you can also increase this one. This goes to one burner each. Both burners maximum altitude. This is a propeller. Right now it's set to max. It's kind of inverted here, but thing is that if you bring this all the way back, it's gonna disable the propellers, and you have to be careful with that because if you try to move forward or backward with this completely disabled or reduced significantly, this is gonna become a bit unstable because it's not gonna be able to correct, and it's gonna start like wobbling left, front or back when it moves. Really, you don't have much of a situation where you would be doing that, so whatever. Now, over here you have a control for the elevator. We can click this and it's gonna send the elevator down. You are gonna wait a bit and you're gonna see the elevator go down. You can then click it again. And it's gonna bring the elevator all the way back up and it's gonna dock it right where it was before. Just several controls for the elevator. This is just one more. Over here we have the docking connector. This is on the center of the ship. Let me show it to you. So we're gonna click this lever. Go to spectator. See, it's now active. This is for carrying cargo. You can go over here and disable it. Then we have an autopilot up here. The way the autopilot works is that you're gonna take a compass with, a lodestone coordinate or any tracking object. You're gonna put it in here on this navigation table. It's gonna enable the autopilot. It's gonna fly us to wherever that thing is headed to. So we are decently high over and we're gonna go all the way to cruising altitude. And we are gonna enable the autopilot after showing the bombing mechanism. So the main thing, this is a bomber. You here have the ability to print a missile. It's gonna go over here to this printer, you can see, and this has inside of it a bunch of TNT and explosive shells, and it's gonna print out a missile here and it's gonna release it. You can aim over here with a spyglass. You can look down and use this typewriter to correct forward, left, back, so on, to be directly over your target, and then you just release it. You can manually open the door. If you want to parachute jump or whatever, you can just open this door here. Connector is over there from before, so we're gonna demonstrate the missile launch procedure. We're gonna first of all print a missile. We're gonna click this button and you're gonna see that it's gonna start printing out a brand new projectile for us. This is gonna also disable over here the ability to launch it, so it doesn't explode. It's like a little idiot proof switch so you don't blow it up, because I did blow it up while testing it. It just blew up and I was like, well, I'm glad I have a backup of this thing, huh? So this is kind of like a gun. You don't want to accidentally drop a nuclear bomb on someone. So if I try to fire right now, nothing happened, huh? Nothing happened. Why? Because you need to arm it. So you need to arm this over here, and then you press this and it's gonna release the missile. You're gonna look down missile is gonna fly down. This is two separate objects, TNT, and the explosive status, and it's gonna blow up. It's kind of like a nail and hammer situation, how this works. So that's gonna force the explosion down, it's gonna do some damage, and then you can, move around and drop more. This was not really aimed properly at the village, but whatever, you get the point. So now we have shown how the missile thing works. We're gonna disable it. Okay, so now for the autopilot, we basically have a compass in here, which we place into this navigation table. We have a target to a village over there. Gonna turn on, and it's gonna automatically start turning towards our target, and it's gonna fly over there. This is the same guidance system as the cruise missile that I made previously. So you want to have that 128 degrees in mind behind the target. Be roughly aiming towards your target when you use the autopilot, basically. So this is gonna fly us all the way over there. I'm gonna skip to when we are already arriving. You can see over here already approaching the target. We're likely gonna fly over it. The autopilot is gonna disable itself. There we go. We have arrived at the target. It's gonna pull up a bit and then it's gonna stabilize right over it. And well, our compass is now back in here. And that's basically how the autopilot works. Let's move to the other wing. Okay, so now we move on to the second section of the ship. If the previous one was mostly functional, this one is more like recreative. Here is the lounge, you saw it at the start of the video probably. And naturally we need to have smooth jazz playing 24/7 in here. My family has a history of really liking like wood and smooth jazz as a combo for interior decoration. I like that as well, so why not recreate it, eh? Continue the tradition. We have down here a view with a clear table to whatever is below us. And I almost forgot to mention, we have an entrance to the front lasers. I don't know what you want to do in here, but there's an access you have if you want to change the lasers or whatever. Now more through here we have the farm, which is quite terrifying. Look at the speed of that. If you get in there, you're gonna get kicked out and you're gonna die violently. It's a terrifying way to go. Don't do that shit. Do not get in there. The storage room over here to store things, pretty self-explanatory. The kitchen, where you can make ratatouille, because I'm growing beetroot and onions and all that stuff over there. So you take it, you put it in one of these pots, and you would start making 10 octillion ratatouille to sustain yourself. We are all vegan here. I'm not actually vegan, whatever. Entrance to the other wing. And up here we have the rooms that are the equivalent to the ones we have on the other side. Just, small room, bigger room, place to sleep. And one of my favorite sections personally, we have the spa, which we have a nice view towards the horizon in here. And we have like a little place to swim over here. I forgot the word in English, I forgot to add water here as well, but you get the point. You sit in here and you enable the autopilot and see the horizon, the things fly past, whatever. Very nice, chill experience. Now, I'm gonna explain how to start up the Harpy for those who want to, paste the schematic and actually get this thing in the air. And then I'm gonna explain how this thing works in more detail. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna cover this whole thing in honey glue, and then you're gonna assemble it into a physics object. Reason I assemble it immediately is to, have the steam engines not stop when I actually assemble it. So I supported this on some scaffolding right there, so it's not like a 30-20 degree angle tilted on the ground, because moving through the interior of this while it's tilted is not fun. You want to make sure your lava generators are at full or nearly full capacity. I was testing this before, so they're not really full, but whatever is good enough. You optimally want to wait for them to be full. So what you're gonna do is the following. You're gonna, first of all, disconnect this shaft here. It's gonna be a shaft here, you break it. Then you are gonna get a portable engine. We are on the left wing of the ship. That is very important. Left wing, not the right wing, left wing. Or it's gonna be reversed on the direction of rotation. You're gonna take a portable engine. You're gonna rotate it so it's facing in here. And you're gonna take some blaze cake. You're gonna disable the propulsion, the balloons and so on. It's all set to, no power at all. And you're just gonna feed it some blaze cake. There we go. Your engine is gonna start up immediately. Then we can disconnect this, take another shaft, and we can then rejoin it back to where it should be. That's gonna start up our second engine. And now the entire ship has rotational power. There we go. You want to hook up your display links that are over here on the steam vents. You see 1, There's another one on the other one, and there's a bunch of other display links right down here for your convenience. You hook them up, all of this, your altitude, velocity, so on, to the screens over here to display that information. If you want to, you can skip this step if you don't want to see information here or whatever. And then for the missile, you want to load the schematic of the missile, which I have also uploaded. So you're gonna take a schematic, take it over here, load up a bomba gravitatoria, my bad, and you're gonna align it right here. There we go, just like that. And you're gonna put it, in each of these deployers. Then you're gonna put the TNT and the explosive shells in this chest, and that's gonna allow you to print out missiles. And that's basically it. The ship is now ready for flight. You might want to do some tweaking on like the elevator down here. For example, this door you see just opened. Not a problem. We can get a crank, break these two shafts. There we go. Fixed. Same goes for this door over here. You might want to re-glue it or whatever. And it should be fully operational now. So if we take these levers and we just send them at full power, it means it's gonna fly off into the sky, and that's it. It's flying. That would be it for how to start it up. Okay, so to explain some of the deeper workings of this thing. Well, we have two steam engines. We have one on each wing, and they are fed by this lava generator over here. We have lava dripstone into cauldrons, and that gets piped directly into the engines. This is on each side of the Harpy, and the two engines are actually connected. You can see that there is a common shaft that's going all the way through here to the other side. That's basically powering all the stuff like the elevator and the missile system and so on. These propellers, these two big propellers, are for forwards and backwards movement. We have this one pushing over there, it's gonna move us forward, this one pushing back. These ones are for lateral correction, and these ones are the ones that are keeping us up in the air higher than the balloons allow for. We also have one of these permanently on back here. Notice that this one is not gyroscopic, but these two actually are gyroscopic. So they are constantly correcting. Now, over here, we have this propeller that is going to have the job of stabilizing the Harpy when it's moving forward or whatever makes it tilt on the x-axis. So this is hooked up to a controller that's over here. Again, same controller as the cruise missile, the one I used. This is basically detecting the angle of the ship, and if it is moving too much to tilting forward, tilting back, whatever, it's gonna correct with the propeller. And also, it's hooked up to each propulsion. It's actually on this side. I just remembered. Yep, there it is. Look at that. Forward and backward, because this is not perfectly aligned with the center of mass. I couldn't get it to align perfectly with the center of mass. So when you start thrusting forward, it's gonna have an inductor here that's gonna count how much time you're thrusting for. It's gonna eventually disable it, and it's also gonna pull down or pull up to correct for that, like tilting down or tilting up. It's gonna be doing when it thrusts forward or backwards. Well, that's gonna be done with this propeller. Here we have the system for the missile launch. Well, the first part of it. This is like the thing that prints the missile and then drops it. Really, it's just a sequence of commands to move this piston forward, then move this up and down, then bring it back, and so on. And it's meanwhile going to disable with a comparator, which is over here, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna disable the launch switch from working, so you cannot be in the middle of printing the missile with the door closed, and you deploy and gara bing gara boom, bye bye to your ship. We have more missile stuff over here. This is just for this. This is here to print the missile. It's gonna send a signal over there directly with this this link, and down here is the thing that actually launches it. We have the arming switch. They both need to be on to actually fire, and that's gonna then send a signal to turn off the lasers over there, make that cool effect, and then just drop the missile. The elevator, it's just using a clutch and a gear shift. The clutch is connected to this. That's gonna detect how much spool is being thrown out according to the value you put in here. Once it reaches that value, it is going to send a signal to the clutch to trigger. It's gonna stop it. And then we also have over here this connector that's hooked up to this over here. That's the main launch button for the elevator. It's gonna basically say whenever the elevator is going down, this has full permission to stop it, to prevent it from going down further. But the moment it's going up, it's gonna completely bypass this, because if not, it would just get stuck down there and not come back up. So it's gonna ignore this. I triggering this, and it's gonna come back up. And the way the elevator docks is that this connector has a comparator hooked up to it, and you're gonna see, let me go into creative. If we send the elevator down, it's gonna disconnect, and this sends a signal to open the door down there, and so on. The elevator just glitched, but I can bring it down. I told you it was wonky. Look at that rope over there. Really, you can just fix this by bringing it back up, and it's gonna tighten that rope back into its place. And when it detects that the connector is trying to lock back into the elevator, it's gonna send a signal here to the comparator, and it's gonna close the door, and so on. And yeah, this door down here and this piston are surprisingly reliable. Even when the elevator glitches like you saw there, it will just kind of force it back into place to prevent it from, going crazy and Gmod style flying around the ship or whatever. Collision physics, very fun stuff. Now I'm gonna go back into spectator, and well, the autopilot is same system as the missile. The way it works is that it's gonna be constantly correcting with these two controllers here to keep a path roughly towards the target, and when it detects that the target is behind it, it's gonna send a signal with this redstone that is barely visible here to trigger this what is it called, deployer, I think. It's gonna grab the compass, pull it back into this hopper and store it, and that's also going to send a signal to this node block here to make a ding. That's gonna be like, oh yeah, you arrived at your destination. And that's basically it. That's basically how it works. It's not really too much to look through. Like, it is just a series of systems one next to the other to make this a nice experience. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, we have the displays. We have a series of displays on each of these steam vents for the balloon, and we also have them hooked up to other stuff below the bridge right here. That's gonna display the information of these screens, and since the two steam engines are connected, you can just take the movement from this main shaft and pipe it into the bridge to power all of these screens. And yeah, that's basically it.